Hi, we like to talk about TV, films and comics on this channel, and today we're going to talk about a DC young adult graphic novel, Shadow of the Batgirl. Shadow of the Batgirl is a DC Inc. young adult graphic novel. It stands aside on its own from DC continuity, so you don't have to be bothered with any of that. But it's got sort of little treats and references to DC continuity for sort of experienced readers who will get something out of that. The story follows Cassandra Cain, who is a young sort of teenage girl. She is an assassin. She doesn't speak and she has very few words because when you're killing people you don't really need to have a lot of words. She's been brought up from a child by her father to just know killing. One day on a job though she has a change of heart. A guy looks at her in a certain way and says a certain thing about his daughter, and it sparks something in her that makes her run away. She holds it at the Gotham City Public Library, where she sort of makes herself a little den in the upper levels, and she slowly comes to experience different feelings and thoughts as a result of interacting and observing the people in the library. This includes Barbara Gordon, who is in a wheelchair. They just refer to an accident happening. She learns about Batgirl because Barbara's teaching classes about Batgirl as part of a project that she does down there, and she takes on Cassandra as a sort of intern. She also makes friends with a lady who runs a noodle shop. It turns out that Cassandra becomes inspired by tales of Batgirl and wants to do something to help with her skills. She experiences sort of romance as well, and she ends up having to fight off her father, who sends his goons after her because he wants his property back, namely her. This results in a sort of fun team up with Barbara, who's still got some moves just despite being in a wheelchair, and the lady who runs the noodle shop, and eventually Cassandra becomes the new Batgirl, and her costume is good. It's inspired by the Burnside costume for Batgirl, the one a lot of people might recognise with the big yellow sort of DM boots, but she puts a twist on it, and I think it's a fun look for the costume. I think this is a great book for readers of all ages. It's a great story. The artwork I thought initially was going to be a bit sort of babyish, but actually it's perfectly suited to the story, and my eyes sort of adjusted to it straight away. I think it's because I've been reading sort of a very mainstream comic book with a very sort of clear house style to it prior to this, that I thought I got a bit jarred, but it's perfectly suitable to the story. The artwork is. The story is well written, it draws you in, it makes you want to read it, and I think this is an ideal breed for anyone who wants a different take on Cassandra Cain, because I don't like Cassandra Cain as a Batgirl in the main continuity. Not that interested, she never did it for me. I like Barbara Gordon, and I particularly like the Batgirl of Burnside. Even though I know a lot of people don't like that run, I think the first volume of that is really good. Otherwise, this book comes in very cheap. Get it for around the £6 to £10 mark. It's in the sort of stubby format, the digest format, which I really like for books at the moment. I think for books of say 200 to 300 pages, I really like this smaller manga-sized digest format. I think this is possibly the way comic books should go. I think they should either be in this format or a deluxe format, because the same way as floppies I think are going to die out just because of people not having the space, and it being a sort of dying art form. Other than for collectors, I think that will either be collected in trades with single issues being sold digitally, and if you want a deluxe format, it'll be in an omnibus, or as we say, absolutes or deluxes or things like that. The middle ground is going to disappear. That's my opinion. Definitely go out and buy this if you want a different read. If you've got a young person in your house who wants a graphic novel to read, this is entirely appropriate for someone of a younger age to read, and it will make a sort of great stocking filler book as well. I've still got the Batman Nightwalker's book to talk about, and then I think that I'm going to call it a day with the DC young adult books. The only other one I might dabble with is Oracle Code, but I've spent a lot of money on other books, other omnibuses lately, so I think I'm going to just get on and read those. Look, let me know what you think about this book. Do you like it? Do you think it's a terrible interpretation of Cassandra Cain? Personally, I'd like to see more stories from this writer and artist about this character, because it just sets up, and I'd like to see how they continue developing her. But look, otherwise, please feel free to like and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.